Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan, and today I'm going to be doing a rather short video speaking about film projects that were supposed to be made, but for whatever reason, they weren't. So again, I'm going to be speaking to the kaiju genre, because why not? It's definitely one of my favorite genres out there, folks. And while a version of this film was actually made, The Return of Godzilla. But the thing is that during the production, it took a lot longer than it would have should have been. And yeah, there was gonna be a totally different version of it. And yeah, it was gonna be have a different title as well, folks. So yeah. Well, there's gonna be an early draft version that was planned in some ways. Yeah, they had some sort of concept in mind already before the finished product that was made. Just like the finished product, it was going to be the beginning of the Heisei series of Godzilla films, which means that the older Godzilla film would have never happened. Okay, all except the the very first film. Yes, the first film had more of the ideal setting in which they wanted. So, again, just like the finished product, it was going to have more of a serious tone. But the earlier version that they had for this specific film didn't take off right away. To the fact that this film was going to be released in 1980. Yup, that time, folks. So, production didn't exactly start off right off the bat immediately. They had to go through some sort of process, of course. Who's going to feature this creature here, folks? And according to the idea they wanted to propose, was that the monster was going to be like some sort of shape shifter of some kind. Just to be more specific, it was going to be more of a mythical kind of shapeshifter, which, as you can guess already, was going to arrive to Japan to cause a bunch of havoc, lots of destruction, of course. And obviously, the Japanese military would, of course, have battle with it. All the while, it's going to be switching between its forms. So, yeah, it's going to have more than one form, obviously, throughout this film. However, meanwhile, there's going to be some, let's just say that, quite a bit of illegal dubbing when it comes to radiation. And this is going to happen around the Pacific Ocean near Japan. And of course, that turns out to be a really bad idea. This causes Godzilla himself to wake up from his rest and heads to Japan, obviously. And this was, of course, is an attempt to look for a nuclear race. And obviously, this is like what happened in the finished film. But anyway, eventually he meets up with this shape-shifting monster, of course, and the two creatures do duke it out, obviously. They do have a fight for a moment, causing a good amount of destruction or what have you, and having Godzilla winning that battle because that creature was unable to defeat him. So, of course, there's some devastation. Obviously, there's still like a country up, of course, but there's quite a bad bit of damage being done. However, there's still a plan, of course. Similarly to the finished film, the Japanese military would have like this sort of secret weapon to fight him off, but of course, Godzilla himself still proves to be a victor anyway, and even though despite the fact they felt they might have had a chance, and he does like a whole rampage kind of a thing. Anyway, so yeah, so I have some trouble. Yeah, there was going to be a heroic scientist type character whom was going to create some sort of weapon to, I guess, in other words, to combat the character of Godzilla, since he was supposed to be a force of nature, a very destructive force of nature. And yeah, that's gonna be one of the themes played in this film, like in the finished film. But the thing is that one of the original producers of these films wanted to explore certain angles in this film because it was going to be in a very specific sort of way, which, when you think about it, is actually pretty understandable. And the thing is that he wanted to be a sequel, a direct sequel to the original film. As like I said, it was going to act as though the other movies never happened. The last Godzilla film that he made was the one he made in 1970s, which unfortunately was a box office bomb. So the producer wanted the film to go back to its original roots, to be more darker, and he asked this director who directed the first film, but declined it. And he said he should have stayed in the past. He really did not like the 1970s Godzilla films because he didn't like what Godzilla became. So, like I said, he felt the character should have just stayed in the past and never come back. But the producer here, folks, did feel that there was some good enough ideas that he wanted to make a new film. The script went through several rewrites over the next 4 years, of course. The original film, the original version of this film, maybe would have been interesting too. It sounds like it could have been a good movie. I did like a lot of the ideas that would have been used in this version. I mean, yes, he was going to be typically fighting a monster, like which is something he is known for. And I did like the fact that it was not going to be any other monster he faced before. So that's one of the things that I did like about it. Okay, aside from the fact that it was going to be taking itself seriously, I like that. And really referring to the original Godzilla film, that's another thing I really liked as well. So from this version of the film, there's a lot of stuff I really did like. But ultimately, it was never used because, like I just said, there were definitely many rewrites of the script. So, of course, ultimately, this was not selected because of that. But it would have been pretty interesting. While I didn't exactly hate the more recent Godzilla film, really, because it was quite enjoyable, but I seriously wish they could have used new monsters he never faced before, which this would have provided. And I just got tired of them reusing over and over and over and over again these same old monsters he keeps facing. But anyway, coulda, woulda, shoulda, I guess. As always, thanks for watching, and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah.